up, guys?
Hello guys, welcome back. Here is our podcast, and there's not a secret that sometimes, especially as a third year students, we may face some difficulties with learning some subjects like linguistics or critical thinking. And today, here we are, our group.
And our main goal is to help our group mates, TFL students, with their most common difficult questions that they might face during their studies.
Yes, and today our topic is lexicology. We made some survey and students asked the most difficult questions in their opinion that they faced during the course, and today we will discuss it.
Yeah. What's the first question?
We can ask the first question, and why do we need lexicology if we already had linguistics in our second course?
That's an interesting
Yeah.
question, yeah. But I think it's quite obvious that linguistics is just a general study of language. So we went a little bit superficial through the topics when we studied linguistics, and now we are getting deeper by studying lexicology, which is study of the vocabulary of a language. And yeah, Nirman, what do you know about lexicology?
According to the lecture from the Greek language, lexis it means word and logos it means learning. So it means that lexicology studies the properties of the word, because we know that the word is the basic unit of language.
Yeah.
And it also includes not only like investigation of the word, also its historical development, like the origin of the words, the origin of the languages, and their social certifications. So as future teachers, I think we might need this subject, and this one of the important courses in our studies.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely need it as a future teachers. Like, imagine a child will come near to you and ask, like, what is this word? And you will be able to answer. Like, you will be able to answer how it formed, how it constructed.
How words can be broken down.
Yeah, that's cool.
So what's the next question?
The next question: what etymology has to do with lexicology? Asked Bucharest.
Thanks, Bucharest. Well, I think, as we mentioned before, lexicology is a study of words, and etymology is a study of historical development of those words, and this is how they connected actually. And yeah, have you ever, like, I think it's interesting, have you ever think about that all of the words that we are putting now together in a sentence are actually the result of a million years development, evolution?
Yeah, exactly. For example, the word silly used to mean happy before. Did you know that?
Wow.
And
No, I didn't.
in the case of the languages too, we can take English, for example. English is a West Germanic language that were brought to Britain in 5th or 7th century by Anglo-Saxon migrants.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to lay in bed and like think about certain words and the definition of theirs. Like, why is it like this? Who was the person who created this word? Like, it's so interesting.
Yeah, I think like etymologists, they are the kids who kept developing, who kept thinking about it as an adults. So thanks to them, they are started to developing the historical meaning of the words.
Now we know the origins of the language, thanks to them. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks. So the next question, are you guys ready?
Yep.
How did you identify the morphological structure of the word on the first quiz? By the way, the first quiz, was it difficult for you?
Actually, I didn't expect the analysis there, but it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't that hard. What about you?
I'm not gonna lie, for me it was a little bit difficult. So, but now I know how to do morphological analysis. So,
yeah, and how did you do it? Share with us.
okay. Firstly, we need to understand that there are 4 types of word structure. So the first one is simple words. The next one is compound words, also derivational compounds and derived words. So by the way, guys, do you know which type of word structure word minded belongs to?
This one is probably derivational compound.
Yes, exactly. So we have 2 roots in this word. The first one is war and the second one is mind. And also we have the suffix ed.
Yeah, and this is how you did the morphological analysis, right? And yeah, I think that the important thing to note here is that ed added to a regular verb, it will be a functional suffix because it's changed the functioning of this word, the grammatical functioning. And because in this example is added to a noun, this is a derivational suffix because it's changed the structure of
Yeah,
the
it
word.
formed the adjective, so don't be confused by them, guys.
Yeah, it derives a new part of the speech, and therefore it is a derivational suffix. This is how we did it.
Okay. So the first question, what is the difference between acronyms and alphabetical abbreviations?
Oh, let me give a brief example what an abbreviation is. Abbreviation is a shortened form of a word or phrase. For example, in our case, acronyms and alphabetic abbreviation is the use of only initial letters of each word. But the only difference is in the pronunciation of them. For example, acronyms we can pronounce as a one word, like NATO, not NATO. Yeah, and in the case of alphabetic abbreviation, in the contrary, we pronounce each letter separately, like in BBC or KZ.
Yeah, I got it. It's like, Neriman, give me an example of acronyms ASAP.
Well, Sabina, you are so funny.
Yeah, those were two examples of acronyms like ASAP and LOL. And what about alphabetical abbreviations? Can you give us examples?
Okay, for example, we can say USA, GPA, and of course SDU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
SDU. So the next question is from Shnarai. How phraseological expressions differ from the ordinary statements?
Yeah, let me answer this one. So ordinary statements are ordinary statements. Like, yeah, it's just the sentences which are either true or false. And phraseological units represent very expressive, very, let's say, colorful part of speech. And they have a couple of features. So the first feature, as far as I remember, is that they have two meanings: complete and partially transferred. So I think that you're already familiar with that information from Balner teacher's lections. And let me quickly explain this one. So complete meaning of a phraseological unit, it's when it's really difficult to understand the meaning of a idiom or a proverb if you are not a native speaker. And partially transferred is when you can guess, like it's quite easy. So yeah, and the second feature of the phraseological unit is that they have dual meanings. The current meaning is when usually shows the, like, creates the specific picture of the phraseological unit, and the true meaning usually has nothing to do with the current meaning. So yes, let me give you an example, and you try to guess whether it's complete meaning or partially transferred.
Okay.
So the first one will be a proverb, maybe. A cat in close catches no mice. And the second is a little bit idiom. It rains cats and dogs.
Since you're a cat person.
Yeah.
No idea.
I have no idea what the second idiom means, but the first one is pretty obvious. So we have the almost similar meaning in Russian language.
Yeah.
Like if you are too polite or too shy person, you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
I think it's partially transferred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, Aisana asked, what's the right way to read dictionaries?
Okay, I think there is no right
Yeah.
way to read dictionaries. It really depends on your purpose. For example, if you are learning a new language, I think it's better for you to use bilingual dictionaries because they are designed in a way so that you can see the translation of a certain word from one language to another. And in addition to its basic function to define the words, you can also find information about the pronunciation, etymology, synonyms, antonyms, sometimes the examples, and grammatical functioning, like what kind of part of speech is that. Yeah, and as far as I remember from the lecture, the first person who introduced into dictionaries the grammatical functioning was a Palmer in 1938, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I think it simplifies the learning of the process of learning. And look what I got for you guys today from home.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is an Oxford dictionary, and I want you guys to look at it and try to find the things that I mentioned when I described the things.
Here are the bold words, like the words itself, yeah?
Yeah.
And the transcription.
Yeah.
After transcription, I see the definitions also of the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else?
And what kind of part of speech they refer to.
Yeah,
For example,
grammatical function.
yeah, as here we can see the word bubble can be a noun and a verb.
Yes, exactly. Good job, guys. The next question is from Sultanat. She asked, can you guys please explain Saussure and Firth theories?
Oh, I love this question. Personally, I find these two theories very interesting. Ferdinand de Saussure is one of the linguists who proposed the theory that language is a social phenomenon. So, yeah, it says that in each individual's brain, language is constructed from the experience that she or he is having in their everyday life. So this can be influenced by our background, by our culture, people who surround us every day, yeah, and things that are happening to us. So linguistic and semantical patterns are developing from our experience that we are having. So yeah.
Yeah. Nirman, I know that you're familiar with Firth theory. Can you please explain it to us?
Yes, sure. So the theory called contextual theory of meaning. So the name speaks for itself. Like the meaning of the word is directly connected to the context or situation or pronunciation of the words. So give me any word that comes to your mind.
Any a book?
Okay. For example, book. We can read a book and also we can book a flight, for example. So it has two meanings, like based on context.
Yeah.
In the first one, like book, it's a thing, a noun, and at the second, book is a verb.
It's a verb.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Pretty
So
well,
that's it.
yeah.
So the next question is asked by Tamirlan. He asked us, guys, can you please explain to me the chart from the 6th lecture? He didn't understand that, and we will try to explain it with the simple words. And who wants to start?
Okay, I will start.
Okay.
So in this chart, we have 9 types of semantic change of meaning. Okay, the first one is generalization. Generalization, it's a process when for example, a specialized word became a wide word. So we have the word salary. Salary, it's a sum that were given to the Roman soldiers to buy a salt. But now salary, we know that it's payment that from employer to employment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't know about that, by the way. Okay, so moving on, the metaphor. So it's actually a comparison between two things that otherwise are unrelated, and when we are doing this, like in the process of giving a metaphor, the qualities of one thing are carried figuratively, of course, over another. Like for example, look at this leaf. Look at this golden leaf, I would say. Isn't it beautiful? And it's like this, yeah, that was a metaphor.
Okay, so the next one is metonymy. Metonymy is another important factor in semantic change by which a word is described by another word which is closely related to it. Like the meaning is closely related. For example, we all know what the word cradle means. It is a place where a baby sleeps. But in a sentence, from the cradle, we can assume that it is the meaning of the word cradle is from the infancy, like from the earliest period of someone's life.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's continue.
So the next word from the chart is specialization. The specialization is the opposite of generalization. So when a word of wide meaning became to the special meaning, for example, we all know the word meat, yeah? So a long time ago, it was a meal.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's continue with litotes. So to understand what is it, I think that you have to get the key word in explanation is understatement. So litotes is an understatement in which the affirmatives expressed by negative of the contrary. For example, not a bad singer or not unhappy. something like that. It's quite easy.
And irony. So, irony is a stylistic device that denotes the opposite meaning of the word of an expression. For example, just today, actually, it is mostly for the purpose of humor. Yeah. So, for example, just today when I went outside, I was like, "What a wonderful weather to shoot a podcast in nature, yeah, in the garden."
Yeah, it's like really cold today. We're
freezing. So this is irony.
We're trying our best. This is good irony.
Okay, the next one is hyperbole. So hyperbole is intentional exaggeration of the word to highlight the importance of the meaning. For example, backpack. We can tell that backpack weighs a ton.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
maximizing,
get it?
yeah? Okay.
Yeah, okay, my backpack.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one here is degradation. Okay, so degradation of a meaning, it's a transfer of a meaning when it becomes negative, okay, in the course of time. So Dila had mentioned this word before, the word silly. So it used to mean a very happy person, but now it has negative sense. It's a person who is not that smart, let's say. Yeah.
And euphemism is a figure of speech commonly used to replace the words that can be somehow inappropriate or that might make others uncomfortable, for example, yeah. I have an example with the word death. Yeah, we can replace it and, for example, say passed away or is in a better place, yeah?
Okay.
Like that.
The last one, we missed one.
And the last one is elevation. So elevation, it means that the word from a humble meaning became to a greater meaning. For example, we have a word minister, yeah?
It's like a opposite to degradation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So minister at the old days it means servant. Servant.
Oh.
But now it means like a minister.
Minister.
Okay.
Okay guys, that's all. I'm hungry.
Yes, we hope that we could make it clear. We hope that lexicology will become a little bit easier for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching and try to not miss our next episodes.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
Bye bye.